Hey, it's Thursday, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy in association with our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. He's Barry, and I'm John, and we're glad you're with us here today.
Yep, and we are really glad. I know the Phantom's really glad because there is some more football tonight.
Yes, there is.
We are on Thursday, August the 7th, show number 239.
Oh, boy.
And we have got a little bit of NFL, more than a little bit, an NFL Network doubleheader. Colts and the Ravens at 6, Raiders and the Seahawks at 9. Also, right in the middle of it all, Bengals and the Eagles at 6:30. Two things I'm wondering about. Does it matter? Does it really matter? Two things. You know, sometimes we like to open up the program with things you should know.
Mm-hmm.
John, every once in a while, we'll open it up with, have I read this right? Or can this be true? So I got two things. Does this even matter? The NFL tonight, does it matter that it's going to be, starting quarterbacks playing 2 series, running backs being held out, nobody is really blitzing hard or anything like that? Are you still going to A, watch it, or B, put a little something on it?
Well,
I remember asking Josh Harris yesterday, have you ever been at a preseason game? He looked at me as though, again, I had been dropped off of some extraterrestrial planet or something. Yeah. Why would I not?
I think that got a lot of views on our Instagram account. That was our clip of the day yesterday, and boy, it was a doozy to say the least.
I'm thinking, oh, so you do? And he's like, yes, I do. Why would I not? They're playing, aren't they?
I mean, particularly with a preseason game, if you really want to make it interesting, you have to have a little action on it. The thing that I noticed, Barry, this might have happened before. I don't know. But it just goes to show you about preseason NFL football. Every road team, there are 3 games today.
Yes.
Every road team is a favorite. So are the home teams resting the starters? Starting quarterbacks not going to play. I just find it interesting that Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Seattle, all underdogs. And I've got to think if these games were played in week 4 of the NFL season, the roles would be reversed.
That's another thing. Are there trends in preseason football? The road team, the road teams are all favorites. Road teams in preseason NFL week 1 are 11-7 against stuff like that. Are there trends in preseason football? Bill from Baltimore says, don't take Indy against the Ravens. The Ravens seem to dominate preseason games, and they do.
Yeah.
That is demonstrably true. But why? Are they playing to win every game? Are they, are there trends in preseason?
Well, that's football? A good one. I mean, Bill's hit on a good one, and the Ravens have done well in preseason.
For years.
I don't think the coaching staffs go into it. All right, fellas, got to win this one.
Let's go. It's Biggie.
I don't think the pre-game pep talk is like that. It's more like, all right, son, we're giving you an opportunity tonight. You better make the best of it.
Yep.
Might not be here next week. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens have just there again. I don't know if they've gone out to win the game. I mean, I guess they're all trying to win. But they're not staring at the ceiling at night if they get home and they don't win.
And here's my other thing this morning in the first segment I wanted to get at here in the tone of, does it really matter? Along with NFL preseason games, especially week 1, does it really matter? Are you watching it? Do you really oh, this is interesting. This left guard from Austin Peay, he looks pretty good. Are there anybody like that? Number 2. Does it really matter? And we're getting to this here in the end of the first week of August. The Braves lose again last night.
So early? We're going there that early?
No, this is leading up to a question.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know how they lost. It
Mm.
was a pretty standard loss. It wasn't anything. Oh, it was excruciating. A homer in the bottom of anything. It was
Yeah.
just a loss.
Just a loss. Yeah. Let me check the box
But
score here.
does it really? Okay, so we get it out of the way because a lot of people, they love the Braves and they kind of like us hearing talk about the Braves. John, not a fan. I'm a huge fan. Does it really matter enough to you?
Ooh, 5-4. Ugh.
For me to tell you the circumstances of the loss? Because back in the day, we'd say, oh, man, the Braves got another win. Big outing from Chipper. Chipper hit a homer, this and that and all that. This year, we're at this point now where even the Braves fans that I know, and all my friends are Braves fans, they're getting on the group chats and everything. They're saying, well, dropped another one. And that's it.
That'll be tough.
Do you even care? I mean, are you looking and checking the score and saying, oh, 5-4 loss? Let's see how they are. Do you even care? It's just like, heck.
Here's what's so tough, Barry, if you're a Braves fan. You take the lead in the bottom of the first, and then the game's tied up in the top of the second. You're going, here we go. I mean, come on. Can you give me at least a couple of innings where we're winning the game?
No.
And then they just kind of fiddle fart around, and then they bring back hope in the bottom of the ninth and fall short. Of course, they gave up 14 hits last night.
So does anybody even really care what John just said at this point of this season where the details are out there? Yes, Daniel is correct. Braves got swept at home by the Brewers, who are really having a good season.
I got to tell you, Barry, since we been talking baseball a lot throughout this summer, and the Phantoms had his daily dog, I've really been enjoying reading box scores in the morning. I mean, box scores are kind of fun now.
They are 19 games under 500. They are 17 and a half games out of first place. They're not going to win anything. They're done. They're out. So does it matter? I mean, can we just now, are you at the point where we say, okay, you can give us the score. You can tell us they lost. I'm not interested in Austin Riley being on the IL and Acuna being hurt. I don't even really care. Braves lose, big deal, move on. Do we even really need to give just how bad the Brave season is? Or can we just?
Well, I'm getting this information from you. This is firsthand because I really don't know the ins and outs, the intricacies. Is that how you say that word?
Intricacies.
Yeah, of what's going on in the Braves clubhouse. I just enjoy hearing you describe it every day, and every now and then there's a win. That doesn't seem to be a lot of joy or excitement.
Because it doesn't matter. Win. That's what I'm at. Does it really matter? Oh, they lucked up and got one. The opposing pitcher must have stunk today.
Wait a minute. You can only use that phrase when we're talking about their World Series victory against the Cleveland Indians when David Justice closed his eyes and swung and it happened to go over the fence.
Against, who was it against? It wasn't Jose Lima. Maybe it was.
So, I'm sorry for the Braves fans and their suffering and their unhappiness. I really do. I really feel bad for you guys. But as Bob from Pike Road says, at 7:07 today, Braves talk. Make your eyes get heavy and your head begins to nod off.
I know Bob's a sports fan. He's not always just football all the time. And he does, I guess, care about some other sports out there. But he says in a preseason game, how can anyone know who will win? The vast majority of the game will be played by guys no one knows their name or really how good they are. Plus, winning isn't always important. Yeah, and it's right. That's what I'm thinking about. If a game, and Bob knows this, if it's like 24-20 in the fourth quarter and your team is driving final possession, are you going to put number one running back in? Are you going to put your best wide receivers in at the very end to win the game? Or do you really want to stick to your plan and get that backup wide receiver a few more reps and see how he does? The answer is B. So it is. I don't know how they put a line to those games or anything.
Well,
like that.
It is tricky. And as we talked about the Braves, Barry, I've thought about my brother-in-law over in Atlanta, who's a
Big
Braves fan. And his two sons are big Braves fans. And I thought, man, I hope he's listening to this morning, which he is, because he just sent me something. And I sent it to you because I'm not real sure what I'm looking at, but I wanted to be clear here. Are the Braves so bad that they're in a really good position to get like one of the first draft picks in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft? Is that
to
what this
answer
is about?
your question? Yes. If they are that bad, if the Braves, and I gotta double check this. If they held the MLB draft lottery today,
yeah,
the White Sox,
who are terrible,
all of them are terrible.
Yeah,
the White Sox would get the first pick.
Whew. Man, I didn't know it was that bad, Barry. This is getting serious now.
I don't know what the deal is because the Rockies are the worst team in baseball, but this simulator has them with pick number 10. I don't get it.
Well, I know the White Sox are bad. Pittsburgh's bad. Oakland's not any good. And I'm thinking, whoa, the Braves are right there in the mix.
Right there in it. Yeah, there's no doubt. They are among the worst teams in Major League Baseball.
Now,
also,
I mean, I'm not laughing at the Braves.
Yes, you are. Yes, you absolutely are. I mean, that is the absolute textbook definition of laughing at the Braves. John is laughing at the Braves.
This has opened my eyes. I did not know how bad it was till I saw this. Man, ouch.
There are in college football.
Yep.
The Troy Trojans will scrimmage today. First
scrimmage. We moving away from the Braves. I was kind of enjoying this.
Well, we got to keep our viewership.
Oh,
all I was asking is, do you guys care? And John is like, oh, heck yeah, look how bad this is. And then, look at my brother-in-law. Look what he put. Oh, they have the number 2 pick.
I mean, I know that had to be tough.
Obviously, John cares, but I was trying, I was just making a point, and it's going to be the whole segment talking about the Braves. Scrimmages tonight. Troy Trojans will scrimmage today. It's a big physical day. Most everybody else that we know will scrimmage this weekend. And I'll go ahead and tell you, Hugh Freeze ain't happy right now.
I read a little bit about that.
Not happy at all with yesterday's practice.
Philip touched on that a little bit, along with a lot of other topics today on his Thursday coffee segment or musings or whatever it is. But he didn't get into a lot of detail on that. I did see where he just mentioned that Coach Freeze was not, coaches will do that, Barry. You got to be sneaky. You got to be careful. Sometimes they just do that to do that. I mean, practice really wasn't that bad, but they kind of want to send a message and be grumpy and PO'd and, make the team think, man, coach ain't happy today.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to make sure, he's not putting something over on you. Philip didn't give us any details.
Let me correct myself. Troy will scrimmage tonight. Auburn's first scrimmage is tomorrow at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yep.
So today is a big practice. And, you as a media member, you get out after practice somehow, you roll some tape, you ask a few questions. That's never the best time to get like some real substantial stuff from the coach, because the first thing they do after practice, they shower, they go back, they take a look at the film from the practice. And then he's probably going to be even more ticked off. He just said the energy wasn't there. He said this, I told them just a while ago, if you're only excellent when people are watching, it's really not excellence. It's just performing. We've got to improve and make sure that every day, every rep must be stacked in order to win these competitive close games that we are in. That's what he's worried about, John. That's what he's worried about. If you're just going through the motions, if you're taking a rep off or a play off, that's indicative of what's happened over the last couple of years. Those close games that they've lost over the last 2 years.
True.
That's how you lose some more of them. Is you, man, I'm tired. Whew, this play's not going to my side. I'm just gonna laze around over here. That's what gets you beat.
Throwing it to me on this place. I'm just gonna take a couple of.
Did Julio ever take a play off from blocking downfield?
No way. No way. One of the best downfield blockers I've ever seen for a wide receiver. And he didn't get enough credit for that. There are people out there that kind of scoffed him. No big deal. So
Yeah,
what?
big, strong, tremendous receiver, great
Uh-huh.
hands. Yeah, John's focused on his downfield blocking.
Downfield
Okay,
block.
sure.
I used to get the remote and rewind it back. Say, hey, come here, fellas. Look at this. This is how you block downfield. They roll their eyes. Not this again.
Nobody cares about that. That's like that top 10 list from Letterman when they had Dolly Parton on, and she says, the thing is, I've got a great rear end, too. She actually said that. Hey, that's like Julio,
Yeah.
I know I make circus catches. I run through people, run like a deer and everything, but I'm a great downfield block. Yeah, okay,
I'm telling you,
that's
coaches
what gets you your NFL money.
Coaches pick up on that stuff.
Anyway.
Did Free say anything about the team's legs are heavy or something like that? Was that Dubose or Tuberville that used that line?
Tuberville, let's see. Dubose, he was the one that said we're not a deep team from a depth standpoint. Tuberville was the one, and I was there when he said it. It wasn't to us. He's been on the air with us a jillion times, but this was during a press conference, and I'm sitting back there, and he said our legs are mentally tired.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I knew it was something about legs.
You want your legs to be focused. You want your legs to be concentrating. You don't want.
I do want to bring this. We go to break. Chew on this a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. I hadn't heard much about it in the last couple of days, but Coach Freeze did make a statement that he wanted Jackson Arnold to leave the practice field confident every day. I get it. Makes sense. But I wonder, is that at the expense of maybe doing things defensively to make his confidence bigger, greater, higher?
That's what we were talking with Brian Matthews about. He said, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
You know what? You know why? The best scenario for having your quarterback leave the field with confidence is he is making really good plays.
Yeah.
On his, against a good defense.
I mean, exactly. You're blitzing and the guy's finding a way to get out of it and find the open receiver, or he's checking off to a better play, or he tucks the ball and runs in an opportunity when he needs to and gains a lot of yardage. That, to me, is how you gain confidence, not by kind of sugarcoating and mamby-pambing through practice to make sure he walks off the field confident. Because I got to tell you, Baylor's not going to make sure he's confident when he's leaving the field at halftime or at the end of the game. I don't understand that ration. I think this is the time you got to,
and not just him. I mean, what does DJ Durkin tell his secondary? Okay, here on this one, I mean, cover him, but once he gets out of his break, slough off of him for a little while. Let the quarterback complete it because he needs confidence.
I don't get it.
A defensive back. I mean, those are bad habits, man. Yeah.
Barry,
I won't really cover him hard.
I've written that down. I'm just going to go ahead and tell our viewers out there, our listeners, if Auburn trips up against Baylor and Jackson Arnold has a bad game, I'm going back to that.
We are
going to go ahead and tell you
that. Yes. Well,
so Daniel tells us, maybe we got to look this up during the break. Steve Spurrier, as an NFL coach, never lost a preseason game. That kind of rings a bell, man.
Well, he only coached one NFL team.
Yeah.
And I think he only lasted 2 years. So
that was about 8 games, maybe. 2 years, 8 preseason games. He was 8-0 in the preseason.
I don't know, which sums up the history of NFL preseason.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel, I'm not doubting you because I think you're right. I think I've heard that before.
And technically, Daniel, will keep you going. We're not going to ban you from the program because nobody disses Steve Spurrier in my presence. Because when I was growing up, in our household, he was the be-all, end-all. Spurrier was the he statue on our mantelpiece with all that.
Yeah.
So,
even though he quit South Carolina and let his team down, but we're going to let that slide.
Yeah, I continued to work with John after John said that. So, anyway, we have got it underway on our Thursday show. A little bit later on, not too far from now. Hang with us. Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com. Also, we'll talk with Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, at the top of our second hour, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Let's get going. Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light. I think I can do this. Hang on just a minute. Let's try this.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air rallies for you. No matter the problem, Dixie will tackle it. Their licensed and trusted electricians, plumbers, air and garage door technicians are ready to win for you. From toilets to garbage disposals, circuit breakers to HVAC systems, Dixie never fumbles. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on second-string contracting companies. Score big with Dixie. After all, they are your biggest fan. Visit calldixie.com or dial them up locally at 262-2946. 21 minutes past the hour, Longshore and McKnight on this Thursday. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, in about 9 minutes or so. Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, the top of hour number 2, presented by our good friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. The freshest seafood direct from the Gulf arrives daily at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery. Call ahead for your order to be picked up, 288-4272. Steve Spurrier.
Yes. Made the reference to him. Well, Steve's got to be pushing 80 right now. Who out there is, and Spurrier, and Spurrier won national championships at Florida, won the Heisman Trophy at Florida. I still think he's the only coach to ever win the national championship and the Heisman Trophy, win the national championship as a coach and win the Heisman Trophy as well. And again, he is a demigod in the state of Florida. I mean, I grew up that way. It's his misfortune, I guess, that he was in the same era as Nick Saban, and B, I'm sure he doesn't second guess his move to South Carolina, but that has tainted. He was good at South Carolina. They won a bunch of games at South Carolina, but now he's back in Gainesville. He's a special assistant, or has been a special assistant, to the president, and Gator Nation, this and all that. And that's kind of, when he was at South Carolina, he wasn't all that great. He was good, but he wasn't great.
I'm trying to think, Barry, and obviously remember Spurrier at Florida more as a coach, not so much as a player. I was a lot younger, obviously. But, I mean, he did. He had some battles with Gene Stallings and Mike Dubose and the like. But I'm with you. I mean, he brought Florida football to a place they had never been before. I mean, SEC titles, national titles. I mean, they had not experienced that.
No.
So what happened? I mean, to me, Steve Spurrier could have been there forever. Then you're not going to get rid of Steve Spurrier. I mean, the guy won a Heisman, brought you SEC titles, national titles. What happened? What made him want to leave Florida, go to the NFL, go to South Carolina when he could have stayed in Gainesville and everything would have been great.
He wanted another challenge. You know, he had played in the NFL. He had briefly, I think he had coached in the NFL briefly. And it's the same thing that drew Saban from LSU. Saban would have been at LSU for forever.
Yeah.
But you sit there and think, okay, I'm really doing well in college football. I want to see if what I believe in and what I do in college can translate to the NFL. And in Spurrier's case, it was a bad situation. In Saban's case, it was a bad situation. Neither one of them was in charge of their personnel. And that's everything in the NFL. Spurrier, they signed guys and said, here, you got to go win with these guys. He ended up getting a couple of his guys just because he flat out demanded it. Shane Matthews, Danny Werfel, some of those guys. Same thing with Saban. He's down there, and he knows. And Saban spent a lot more time in the NFL than Spurrier as an assistant and all. He knew what an NFL player should look like. And number one, some of these guys weren't winning players. And number two, all that yelling and screaming and challenging a player, it worked in college. I'm not sure it works in college anymore, but it worked in college. But you're screaming at a player and dog cussing him and everything, and he's making several $1 million. He's looking at you like you're a fly.
And you got to know Spurrier and Saban are smart enough to know that. This is different. It's not college. I'm dealing with professionals. These people are employees. It's different. I know they got egos. They think they can do it, but you got to think when you sit down and you really think about it. Do I want to leave college? Do I want to do this? And it was different in college back then, a little bit different, obviously, but obviously it was a lot different than the NFL. You're right. College is getting more like the NFL now. And I think that's what really drove Saban away. But I've always wondered why these guys didn't sit down and think more about it. Do I really want to go to the NFL? And what is a college coach that goes to the NFL? Do you have to go to the right team? I mean, I hate to say this.
Yeah.
I can only think of two guys that were college football coaches that were successful, and they both coached the Dallas Cowboys, Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson. I mean, what other college coach went into the NFL and had the success that those guys did?
Pete Carroll with the Seahawks, maybe, but he got fired a couple of times before in the NFL. He didn't win a Super Bowl. Should have won it one year, except for that brain-dead play call at the goal line against the Patriots when he had Russell Wilson throw it, and he had Marshawn Lynch just sitting there in the backfield. Yeah. One more college, and Jim Harbaugh has done
either.
well.
Oh, that was tough.
Jim Harbaugh has done well. That's true. That's a good one. Although Jim hasn't reached the mountaintop like Jimmy did and like Barry did. One other college note. We're going to get to Jason Caldwell in a moment. Tell me what you think about this. Okay. You knew, of course, I don't know if we covered this, that ESPN has acquired the NFL Network. ESPN has acquired the NFL Network. ESPN has purchased the Red Zone name. They'll be able to utilize that for other sports. On3 Network, a guy named Brian Jones, not our Brian Jones, a guy named Brian Jones on 3. Just tell me what you think of this, John.
Okay.
He reports that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is considering the creation of a college football red zone.
Love it. Oh, I mean, I might never watch a college football game the same way again.
According to Goodell, ESPN purchased the Red Zone name. They'll be able to utilize that for other sports, college football and other things. And I think that could be an exciting thing for our fans also to see a Red Zone maybe in college football. That's something that they now own.
Is that same guy ESPN that does it on Sunday going to do it on Saturday too?
Well, see, that was another thing. I figured John would be a big fan if ESPN ever came out with a college Red Zone. But that's the other thing. Anybody got any ideas on who might be the guy to host the college Red Zone? Somebody who has a lifetime of experience skipping around games, checking out the highlights and moving on to something else, Mrs. Longshore would probably say, you skip around channels all the time anyway. Why not get paid for it?
Yeah, no kidding.
That would be a happy
That
man.
would just be that would be a lot of fun. I am with you there. I like that. I did see a little nugget about that. I'm in because I'm a big fan of the NFL red zone, and if they can pattern it similar to what goes on with that, they can do the college that way. I think it'd be great.
But Bill from Baltimore says it may be too much with too many games. Maybe by conference. Yeah, see, that's the thing. John's watching it. He's thinking, oh, this is great. Cover that one. Need a touchdown in this one. This one's still got a couple of minutes for it to get started with the popcorn and everything. And all of a sudden they start the college red zone. Ooh, Washington has it inside the red zone. They need a touchdown to win. All right, let's watch this one. Oh, they get it. That's great. Next one, they show Middle Tennessee State versus Eastern Kentucky. And John's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I know for a fact Florida State is just about to kick the field goal.
Barry, that's when you go quad box, because on the NFL red zone, there's times in games, particularly toward halftime, 2-minute warnings, things like that. Teams are driving. They'll put the quad box up. I mean, I think they've had 8 of the octo box, I believe they've done before on red zone.
How do you even do that?
So
8 games at once.
So you could do that, but I do kind of wonder, that's a good point. But hey, if you've got Middle Tennessee catching 2.5 and they're in the red zone late, you're going to want to see that.
You're screaming at the TV, I don't care about Ohio State, Penn State. Ohio State's got the comfortable. Can you get me Middle Tennessee?
Yeah. I mean, if Ohio State's up 38-3 and Northwestern's in the red zone, I don't care.
That's right.
No matter.
Especially when I really need UTEP to do something here. Where are they? They're in the red zone? What's going on? Why can't we get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So and there obviously there's a lot more games.
Yep.
In college than there is in the NFL on a Sunday. But I'm surprised it's taken this long. If you want to know the truth, I really am. I'm a little surprised it's taken this long for the college game to do that. But we'll see how it plays out.
Anyway, that's being discussed, and I don't see why they don't do it. When we come back on the show, we'll check in. The Auburn Tigers, when the great practice yesterday. What's going on the Plains? We'll check in with Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, when Longshore and McKnight returns in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light. Oh, that's right. This is my call here.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316. The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
All right, back at it here on a Thursday. Jason Caldwell going to join us here momentarily from Auburn Undercover, getting that all squared away here on the program this morning.
I believe I've made the arrangements and everything. Talk a little bit on what's going on at Auburn. We mentioned Auburn will scrimmage on Friday.
Yep.
Alabama scheduled to scrimmage on Saturday.
That's correct. What
do you gain out of that? Well, we heard from Travis Ryer about that. We heard from Brian Matthews about that as well. This first scrimmage is going to be really physical. It's for everybody. It's when you're really hitting and you're seeing who's shying away from contact. There's already contact going on. They're hitting hard. But the first full contact scrimmage, see, who's rising to the occasion. And John, it's about time in practice where you're not into game week prep yet. You're not totally preparing for Florida State or for Baylor, but you got to start making sure that the right guys are getting the most reps.
Definitely.
And that's what the scrimmage is, as much as anything. All right, we're going to have to start toning down the reps for some of the guys that are going to be on the scout team. We're going to have to start, giving some more reps to these kids who are really moving forward and impressing us. A lot of that is dictated by the scrimmages. So the first scrimmage, people say, it doesn't really mean anything. You're still far away from the season. Yeah, it does mean a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, it means a ton. And there again, through all the preseason camps around the country, it's these scrimmages that are coming up that you're going to see a lot of separation. Or you're right, the starting lineup, you're going to see these guys get the most reps. And you'll hear some things like, man, this guy had a great scrimmage, or man, this guy really busted out. You do hear about some players that maybe you hadn't heard as much about in the first part of camp that, man, watch out, this guy's making a move. But basically, it's those guys you've been hearing about that are getting those starting reps.
And there's some of those guys out there that'll just tank it during the scrimmage.
Yep.
Won't communicate, don't get the play call in, don't execute the play call. And clock's ticking on them. You got one more scrimmage to get it going, and then you get ready for game week, and then they're going to play the people they can trust. So it's a big deal. All the names, everybody at Alabama who's being counted upon.
Yep.
The quarterback, everything points to Ty Simpson, but I mean, if somebody gets a little hot, somebody starts making throws, or Ty, I'm not sure it's going to be a case at quarterback of somebody making a move forward. I'm just thinking the only thing possible to really make it a true competition is if Ty Simpson takes a couple of steps.
Somebody asked me, we talked about a little bit about this last night on the TV side, and I was asked, did I think there could be a change if Ty Simpson starts against Florida State, which I fully expect that to happen? Could there be a change before the Georgia game? I don't see that happening. I could see something happening after the Georgia game, but not before it. I just can't imagine Keon Russell starting between the hedges for the first time. I just can't see that. So, and I'm not sure it'll happen anytime during the season for that matter. Hey, our man Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, joining us here as things are heating up, practices, scrimmages on the way. And, of course, he is our source, our man, when it comes to Auburn athletics. Jason, good morning, sir. How you doing today?
I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
Doing really well. Glad you're able to join us. Tell us a little bit. First of all, we've been talking in the first half hour of the show. Yesterday's practice, heading into, I guess, practice day scrimmage tomorrow. Yesterday's practice, Freeze wasn't all that happy with it. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, I think it's just normal. You're going to have those days when you get in camp, or you have one of them where there's not a whole lot of energy. And so I think probably for them, they probably knew what was coming Friday and know how big of a day that is. And so it's just kind of natural. I did a radio show with former Auburn defensive line coach Don Dunn. He goes, yeah, you're not going to have every day where you have those days where everybody, it's just like a season, where you get through a season, and that's just 12 games.
Yeah.
And you go, well, you're not going to have all 12 games where you have maximum effort. It's just human nature. So they have one of those days where a little sluggish. And so I would guess that's, as a coach, you're probably okay with that, to be able to use that as a little motivation to go, okay, that's not good enough. So just one of those days.
And we were talking about it earlier, Jason. I can remember playing high school football. There was always a practice in August when the coach it just wasn't a good day for the coach. Whether it was, he planned to do it that way, it was a spur of the moment. But you're right. I mean, it's long. You're hitting the same people. You're doing the same thing. And whether the coach is trying to send a message or just trying to be, a little kind of a hard ass that day, if you will, pardon my French. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's all part of it.
Yeah. And you're right. I think some of those things too, where you get to this time and you haven't had a scrimmage yet. You've had some competition, but not a ton. And so you go like, I've seen these same play and 50 times, and as a defensive guy, that's the same thing too, where you're like, I know what this is. We've seen it a bunch. And you just kind of go, oh, well, so it kind of gets a little repetitive at times when you get through camp. And so that's why you get to this time and you go, okay, we can make it competitive for a different reason. And so you'll have that scrimmage type situation Friday. I think that'll be the first one. They'll do another one next week. And that's the thing about it. You think about, I mean, when you start now, you have almost a month until the first game, and you'll have a scrimmage next week. And then the next week you'll have another scrimmage where you go to the stadium and you do kind of everything. You put the headsets on, you run it like a game where you eat at 3:00 and you have all the things you do. So you still got all that to think about. And you still got 11 days till you start school. And so it gets toward that time where you're like, let's do something different.
Yeah.
And you don't have a chance to do a whole lot of that till you actually get into school and start to really focus on an opponent.
Can you clarify the approach that Hugh Freeze was talking about Jackson Arnold? He wants his quarterback confident. They're doing things in practice to help him keep his confidence. What does all that mean?
I think it's like, I think some of it's part of what I was just mentioning a little bit, in that you get days, and nowadays a lot of days where defense says, well, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Well, because I know what that is, I'm going to change what I'm doing. And offense they're not checking at the line of scrimmage in practice.
They're running what they're running.
Their play. And so as a defensive guy, you're like, so I think this is a way, hey, let's make sure that the defensive guys do what they're doing. So the offense, so both guys can, because that's not helping anybody. If I know what this play is, I'm going to jump this route. Well, you don't know what this play is if you're an opponent. So I think it's like, hey, let's play this thing straight up. So the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, these coaches, let's plan. All right, here's what we're running on this play, because this is what we think we'll see when we give them this look during the season. So I think it's just a way to go, look, you're not backing off, but what you're doing is like, you're going to give somebody a chance to go out and actually execute a play, because if not, then the defense is going to win every play. When they've seen these plays 100 times, they know what's coming. They're going to win that play every time in practice. This is just a way to go, look, let's play it straight up and actually let both sides get some work in.
The scrimmage, will it be in the morning like all the other practices have been so far?
Yeah, I think this first one will be in the morning. And then I think the next couple, they'll be on a Friday night.
Yeah.
To be game time, similar situations, and they'll go to the stadium. I think this one, they'll probably do this one at the practice facility. And so I think this one's going to be a little bit more closed and buttoned up, to kind of give them, okay, we're going to take a look, especially at a bunch of young guys. That's normally what happens in scrimmage number one.
Because
this is the one.
Yeah, what's at stake here? Yeah.
This is the one where you start to figure out who can help us and who can't. So this is an
important one. Yeah.
The first one is always, okay, we've got whatever 100 guys out here, but they just put a Cameron King, they just put a couple guys on scholarship and Paul Thompson. So here's our number. Okay, how many of these guys do we feel like can help us in a rotation? you start to kind of figure that out. And then the next couple will be, what's that rotation going to look like? So I think for these young guys, for these true freshmen, for redshirt freshmen that haven't been a part of things yet, some of these older guys, we heard a name like Dylan Cinda yesterday. Okay, are you ready to be in that rotation, or will it be another one of those 6 that moves into a guard spot like a 2-tall, or is it one of these backup DeAndre Carter, one of the young guys? This is where you start to kind of figure out who's ready and maybe who's not quite ready, and that usually happens in the first scrimmage.
I had a buddy of mine who lives outside of Ocala. He texted me, and he said, "I'm telling you, Cameron King can contribute." Yeah, and I think you had something in your 2-minute drill that Cameron King. I mean, that scholarship wasn't just because they had a spare one lying around.
No, we watch him, and we've watched him, since the spring, and he got here last fall. And I mentioned it the other day. I said, look, 2 years ago, that guy may be starting at wide receiver for Auburn. When you think about what their first group of wide receivers looked like, and you had a couple of guys that were okay, made some plays, but there wasn't many. Cameron King's he's definitely in the rotation 2 years ago. And he'll contribute on special teams probably, and he might catch a ball or two this year. He probably won't be a guy that maybe 2 years ago he catches 35 passes. I don't think that'll be the case this year, but I think he's good enough to go out and make a play.
Jason, it seems like maybe it's just the way the college game is being played now. I mean, there's so much emphasis on the passing game, the wide receivers. We just don't hear a lot about the running backs. What's the status there? What are you expecting out of that group this fall?
Yeah, I honestly think they've done some good things, and you've had, I don't know that if you were playing a game, we probably wouldn't have seen Damari Austin held out or limited in practice. Jeremiah Cobb had a yellow jersey on, but he's already been cleared and was practicing. You're playing in a game, you probably splint that thing up and you're going. But that's allowed the young guys to get some work. And man, Omar Mabson, who's an early high school graduate from Auburn High, he should still be a senior in high school. He's 5'9", 213. He's been a guy that's probably benefited more than anybody. Darrell Robinson, the UConn transfers, and then heck, you got Alvin Henderson, all-time leading rusher, that's kind of sitting there and kind of been lost in the shuffle a little bit. But I think he's had a good camp. But other guys have had a chance because we haven't seen those guys, and I think that's sometimes that catches your eye a little bit more because we didn't see Darrell in the spring, and obviously Omar was still at Auburn High finishing up classes. So I think it's a group that's really interesting because I think there's a lot of different types of guys. I don't think we'll have, when you look at the end of the season, I don't think we'll be talking about a 1,000-yard rusher. But I think you could be talking about 3 guys that have 500 yards. I think it's going to be more of that.
That works.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more of that type thing for Auburn this year.
I do want you to keep an eye when you're at practice and watching them in the periods that you're allowed to do so. Keep an eye on a young man that wears number 25. That young man right there, that's my wife's cousin's son. He played at Mountain Brook. Cole Gamble, walk on, and man, he's a great kid, and he's working hard. I don't know if he'll ever see the field. Maybe the Mercer game, but if you see him out there, just tell me how he's looking next time we have you on.
Yep, I watched him play. I think a couple of times in high school at Mountain Brook, and so he can run. Really, and a guy that I always thought was good enough to contribute, and I thought maybe special teams and do some things that he might end up being it, but. No, Cole's the guy that said that they got a couple of guys. Justin Jones is a walk-on running back that's a good player. I mean, Christian Burnett from Faith Academy. They got some guys that, again, from the walk-on ranks they're pretty darn good players that might not get an opportunity to shine in a big game, but that are good enough to play.
I'm glad you're bringing up names of people who are taking advantage of opportunities and making moves early in fall. A couple of things about the tight ends. I know Brandon Frazier. He's been around. He's big, I know that much. What's the tight end room look like, and is anybody making a move there?
Yeah, I think you look at it. One of the guys, Ryan G, is a true freshman that I think is a guy that's helped himself. But maybe the guy that has helped himself the most is Preston Howard, is a Maryland transfer. Actually, called, I think 30 passes or so last year at Maryland. So he's an athletic guy, probably more of the Rivaldo Fairweather type of guy. When you look at him, he's 6'5", 236. So it looks like a bigger wide receiver. And I think that's probably a guy that can help out with this game. Brandon Frazier is 265, but looks like a power forward. I mean, he's not a 6'5", he's 6'6", 6'7", so he's longer body. And then Tate Johnson, former offensive lineman, a guy that started at center at a couple of games for this team. And Tate has transitioned and said, hey, I want to help this team somewhere. And right now that's going to be as a tight end. And so it's really interesting to watch Tate and to see how he's continued to come on. But he's trimmed down, lost some weight, and I think he's going to help them, as a blocker, probably more in a short yardage situation, do some of those things. But when you look at a guy that started at center at one time, he's now 6'3", 271, and he's probably actually thinner than that now. So this is a guy that's lost almost 30 pounds, but has that mentality of an offensive lineman. So I think that's going to be big for them.
I know we'll talk about this more as we get closer to game week, but I'm just kind of curious your thoughts about Baylor and the coaches poll that came out earlier this week. Auburn and Baylor right next to each other in that ranking. I've seen this point spread in Vegas go from Auburn being a favorite to an underdog. I mean, it's like a 1-point spread. Do you think these teams are that closely matched?
Yeah, I don't think that it's overwhelmed. I don't think it's like if you're going to Ohio State, for example, or somewhere like that. I don't think it's that big of a talent difference, and that's normally where things start. Baylor obviously won games, but you look at them and you go, Dave Aranda's a defensive coach, but they weren't very good defensively last year. How much better are you when and it's kind of that always that old adage now is how much better are you with the same guys? You're like, well, you got a lot of these guys back. Well, is that good or bad? You don't really know. That's the part of these things that we don't know now is how different all these teams are. And so you look at, even in the Southeastern Conference, we're talking about the polls, and you went, man, everybody's talking about how better they are. They probably are, because you're picking and choosing guys from programs, and you're probably better than you were last year, but you don't know how much better. I think Auburn's better. I don't know how much better they are, but I think they're better. So I think from a standpoint of pretty equal, I think it is going into it. I honestly feel like Auburn's probably a little bit more talented team. Now you got to go on the road and do it and prove it. So that, again, probably factors into that being a toss-up probably going into the season.
Well, I know it has to be the case because there's been so much coverage, so much video, and so much insight. You and Christian and Nathan, Philip, and the whole staff have been getting good amount of access. You'll have plenty of stuff from practice and the scrimmage tomorrow.
Yeah, we have practice access today, so we'll get a chance to watch practice, do some things there. Pretty tight-lipped after today from first scrimmage, so no access for the scrimmage type tomorrow. So, but we'll have a chance to talk to folks and kind of get some reactions and kind of hopefully figure out some of the things that went on in this first scrimmage, and then we'll get all the assistant coaches next week. So we'll get a chance to get their reaction on scrimmage, how things went, who stood out. So we'll have a lot of that. So yeah, we've had a lot of information coming out of camp so far. Yep.
Get it all at auburnundercover.com, and then follow you, a very active social media presence for you, Jason.
Yeah, can check us out. Like I said, auburnundercover.com, ITAT Jason for me there at Twitter. And if you've never subscribed before, first time, or if you're a monthly subscriber and thinking about for the year, it's 50% off right now. So if you want to go, hey, man, I'll take a look at this thing, a full year's subscription now is 50% off. So you're talking about, pennies a day to get this. And so it's a great time for it. Exciting year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this team, again, is going to compete. So see where the chips fall, but come join us.
Hey, they're on top of it, folks. I'm telling you, Jason Caldwell and that staff at Auburn Undercover, they are locked in, and I'm telling you, you're getting all the information. They are there and analysis to go along with it. Hey, Jason, as always, we greatly appreciate your time. Look forward to it each and every week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Thank you. Great information. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover monthly. Wait a minute. Hit that annual tab. Be like me. I've been a premium, platinum, double secret member forever.
Yep.
VIP club at Auburn Undercover.
Two things
monthly.
about it for John. Number one, annual saves money.
Yep.
And number two, John knows himself well enough to know I'm not going to not subscribe. I'm not going to. I mean, about the first time Auburn takes a late loss in the opener, I know myself well enough to know I got to see what Phillips got to say.
Yeah.
So annual subscription, I know I'm going to subscribe anyway. Why not do it and save some money?
Barry, I don't want to get caught. Like, wait a minute, am I subscribed this month or not? I mean, this way I don't have to worry about it. I know I got that platinum VIP membership annually. It's awesome. And if I want to go to get a message board after, something happens or read Jason and those guys, you better believe it. That is out. I mean, that I do not worry about that. Believe me.
That's right. Yeah, believe me. There are times when he scratches out a check or he flashes that debit card and he's like, that don't happen with his subscription to AuburnUndercover.com. Pay it.
Yeah,
pay it.
done.
Well,
clockwork.
Likewise, your subscription to TighterInsider.com. It served me well. We'll talk with Rodney Orr in just a moment, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market.
I mean, and Barry, if I want to find out about Auburn, I go to Tighter Insider.
Yep. You think maybe there's some things that they might be missing, not really likely. And even some things that, they're probably not missing, but I want to know what the other side says. Beautiful. Yeah. TighterInsider.com. Rodney Orr joins us in just a moment on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market in a couple of minutes. Barry, the SEC released their regular season basketball schedules yesterday. Nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't realize Alabama. Maybe I did. There's only 3 teams on an SEC schedule that you play home and away. Alabama's, I believe, is Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State.
That's not surprising. I don't think that's surprising at all. And yeah, you're right. We knew a lot, and we've talked a little bit about the non-conference schedule that has been that has been out there and known to a large degree already. But this is the conference schedule. What are the interesting weekends? What are the big games? Well, for Auburn, they've got of course they're going to be, they and Alabama are going to be in that NIL tournament in Las Vegas, where the players can not only play in the tournament, obviously, but they can also get, special appearances there. They'll be able to make NIL money there through the Las Vegas organizers. The only guy from Auburn who's going to be back from last year, scholarship guy, is Tahad Pettiford. The defending SEC champions and the Final Four participants have one thing that kind of caught my eye about their conference schedule. Alabama and Ole Miss are Auburn's home and aways, which, John already mentioned Alabama and Auburn. Ole Miss is a home and away. Georgia had been the home and home, the third opponent, the home and home, but Arkansas is in instead of Georgia. So Auburn has to play home against Arkansas and at Arkansas. Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn. It's fairly standard. They have to go to defending national champion Florida in late January.
This is what got me. I think I read this right. Auburn's playing Alabama, obviously.
Yeah.
Home and away. They were playing Georgia, but got flip-flopped, and now they're playing Arkansas.
Yeah, right.
And I forgot. And who's the other one that they're playing?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Now, wait a minute. If you have the South's oldest continuous, am I saying that right? Football rivalry in the Deep South?
Continuous rivalry in the Deep South.
Yeah, the Deep South. Shouldn't you play in basketball too?
Come on, man.
I mean,
it's a whole.
Could you imagine them going, Auburn and Alabama aren't going to play basketball? So I've been led to believe over all these years what a great historic rivalry between these two schools in the Deep South, and they've played together since the beginning of time and used to take the train to Athens and back, and then I'm playing basketball?
That's a football reference there.
Or was that Georgia Tech in the train?
It was Georgia Tech. That's when they greased the train tracks. And, they have the Rec Tech pajama party and all that.
I want to know.
Georgia's different. They do play Kentucky, but they play Kentucky in Auburn instead of in Lexington. I
want to know, Barry, and I haven't gone to message boards to see if there's an outrage about this, but I want to know what Auburn basketball fans think about not having their rival,
the oldest continuous rival in the Deep South,
on the basketball schedule. I mean,
it's disappointing.
Well, we'll move on and go and shift gears as we do at this time each and every Thursday. Our man Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, joins us, and he is brought to you exclusively by our friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call ahead. Your order will be ready for pickup at 288-4272. It is the freshest seafood available, bar none, with arriving daily from the Gulf, the Destin Connection. Go by and see our friends there. Tell them John and Barry sent you. Hey, Rodney, good morning. How you doing today?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Doing really well. I'm interested, first of all, in just your overall view of preseason camp so far. I know that access is probably going to be curtailed a pretty good bit starting soon, but you've had a pretty good amount of access, pretty good amount of people and operatives who have been able to kind of take a look at this team. What has stuck out so far?
Well, I think first of all, you're right. Yesterday was the last day of media viewing period for a while. We got about 10 or 15 minutes just to let everyone know for the first 5 or 6 days. You asked what would be the thing that stuck out the most. I think John and Barry, when you look at this team, I mean, physically, they're in incredible condition. I think that I think David Ballou and his staff did an incredible job of getting this team prepared for this season. Now, what does that really mean? How does that translate on the field? We don't know. It remains to be seen. I mean, that doesn't guarantee a win. But I do think that they put the work in and the foundation's been laid and they look really good on the hoof.
Well, that's good to hear. And I know the fans like hearing that, reading about it. Wow, excuse me.
They are well conditioned, but looking at the offensive linemen, for instance, as an example, they're still huge.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, I'll say this too. You get a different perspective when you see them in shorts and shoulder pads than when you see them in full pads. You can really get a better idea of just how big they are.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, yesterday was the first day in full pads, and Saban had some really big teams physically. I mean, they're not quite that big, and the game has changed a little bit in some ways. And look, there's a different philosophy too. You guys know that. Saban, like when Eric Wolford was the offensive line coach, his last offensive line coach, he wanted guys at 340 plus. Now these guys want them at 315, 320. They want them to be able to move. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference in the philosophy. So, but again, it's an impressive looking team on the hoof. And I want to be clear, how that translates on the field remains to be seen.
Tallahassee in about 2.5 weeks or so.
We'll know better then.
We will know. All right, Rodney, coming out of spring, going into preseason camp, we hadn't heard a lot about the tight end position. What can you update us about that?
Yeah, well, I'm really high on Josh Cuevas, the transfer from Washington in his second year. He made a few catches last year. He showed the ability to catch the ball really, really well. And I think he's going to be, I expect some good things out of Josh Cuevas. Danny Lewis returns. Danny looks really good. He missed all of spring with an injury, but he's transformed his physique. I mean, he is a lean machine. Looks really good. Of course, they've got a couple of transfers, as you know. Barry covered one of them, Brody Dalton at Troy, and then also Jack Samarco from West Virginia. Both those guys look good. Marshall Pritchett, true freshman who went through spring, was injured, but was really turning heads in the spring. He's a good looking receiver type tight end. He's gotten bigger. He's added 30-something pounds since he got here in January. I'm talking about solid pounds. He hadn't gained any fat. And then also Caleb Edwards, a true freshman who enrolled in the summer. He didn't get here till the summer, out of California. He's about 6'6" and about 260. Guys, I'm telling you, he doesn't look 260. I mean, he's big, but it's all put together, and he's very athletic. So that's kind of, there's some more, but Jay Lindsey's another one. So, but I would say this: it's a room that has a lot of numbers, and I think has ability.
I always like asking you, for a guy. Sometimes you volunteer it yourself. A guy that you kind of like the look of. People aren't necessarily mentioning him a lot to look out for. You think he may have a significant impact, because there's always payoff. It's like your firecracker 5. You're always right on those. I noticed at TighterInsider.com, I'm not putting words in your mouth or putting any pressure this guy's got to perform, but you really like a safety named Zay Mincy.
I do. I really like Zay Mincy. I think he's very long. He's 6'3". He came here last year as a true freshman as a cornerback. And they moved him to safety. He started the Michigan game. He had 7 tackles in that game. Zay is he's a quality looking player. Now we know that Bray Hubbard is right. Back, and Keon Sabb is back. But I will tell you guys one thing: this secondary, in terms of loaded athleticism, length, all of those things. I'm going to step out here for a second.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this might be as talented numbers wise as any secondary I've seen. Now, again, I can't vouch for what's going to happen, but I can tell you that athletically, the length that they have, the size, this is a really talented group.
So are you saying this secondary has length and girth? No, that was another coach. That was somebody else. Okay.
I think Hugh Freeze is envious. I would say that. So with that said, yes, this is a really impressive looking group. Mo Lindquist has done a fantastic job to me, the way he developed them last year and the recruiting that they've done. Of course, Jason Jones is now the new safeties coach, and he's highly regarded as well. But with all that said, yeah, I do like Zay Mincy. But you asked me one guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me say this, if I can put it this way. This is not going to really surprise anybody, but we've talked about a lot of guys. We could say a lot of guys. We could say Isaiah Horton at wide receiver, or we could say, someone else, on defense, whatever. But I would say this is James Smith. Now, I'm going to tell you, since we are, a lot of Montgomery people listening right now, James Smith, and we've been saying this on TigerInsider.com before David Ballou came out and said it publicly. We've been saying, watch out for James Smith. That's the buzz that we have been hearing all summer long, was that James Smith on the defensive line was having a magnificent summer. He had worked harder. His focus was better than ever. And the buzz inside that building is there's no excuses for James Smith not to have a bust out breakouts type season. Okay. So with that said, though, let me get to your question. Jam Miller's a guy that I would really watch because I think his mindset is right. And he's got a lot of leadership. But if I had to pick one guy that could potentially be the guy, I'm going with Ty Simpson.
Wow.
And here's why. That's not
context.
Here's why. Because listen, Ty's got all the tools. I'm telling you, physically, he's got the tools. The one thing that we don't know, and we've talked about this on the show repeatedly, he doesn't have much experience. How's he going to respond to adversity? What does he if he throws a pick? Does he come apart? Is he emotionally fragile? We don't know all that. But I do hear the things we hear is Ty's taken a lot of big steps in terms of that maturity. He has really worked hard. This is something Ty has been waiting for. This is the moment Ty Simpson has been waiting a long time for. And the staff, everything I hear from inside is that they're pretty confident that Ty's going to respond in the right way. So with that said, with you talk about all the things he has around him, if Ty steps up and does what he's physically capable of doing with the receivers that they had and Ryan Grubb, then I think Ty could be the guy that really has that breakout season.
Well, that's very interesting and very enlightening and exciting, I'm sure, for Alabama fans to hear and to talk about today. It's interesting that you say that, Rodney, and I'm just curious, and it's hard to compare. I get it. But a former Alabama quarterback, whether it's Mac Jones or A.J. McCarron or Jake Coker or whomever, who would you compare Ty Simpson to?
Kind of all three of those you just mentioned in a lot of ways. I mean, he's more athletic than A.J. But, I can see some of that. I can see Coker, and just in terms of, Coker was a guy that was kind of, what's the best way to put it? He had to gain some confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put it that way. And Coker's, how do you want to say, groundbreaking moment or the transformational point in his career was when he was benched against Ole Miss. And remember, he didn't start the game. Cooper Bateman did. And they put him in. And Coker was so angry about that. It totally changed his mindset. And you know what? Coker was 14-0 that year as a starter. He was 14-0. So I see that part in Ty. And I do see the Mac Jones part too, having to wait his opportunity. And I'll say this too. You guys remember, Mac Jones was really emotional. That was one of the things Saban used to call Mac Jones John McEnroe because of the way he, so I can see all three of those guys.
Well, that's because people, they're looking back to former quarterbacks and going, is this guy going to be like him, or is he going to be like that guy? And we were talking about it maybe late last week about who does he really, model himself after? Who would he, be closely associated with in terms of his play? So that's interesting to hear. A couple of guys are sending some questions in to me, Rodney, as you can expect.
I got one.
Yeah, lay it on.
I got one. Everybody's talking about Ryan Williams, Rodney, for good reason. And, he has become one of the true faces of college football, much less, just the University of Alabama program. But somebody wanted me to ask you because they're hearing really good reports from Jeremy Bernard.
Jeremy Bernard had a big practice a couple of days ago. Heard he had several highlight reel catches. He's a leader on this team. You talked about leadership. You've asked about leadership. I think Jeremy Bernard is a guy that fits that. He highly. Here's the crazy thing. You talk about leadership.
Yeah.
Two of the biggest leaders on this team, Parker Brailsford at center. Where did he play? Washington. Okay. Jeremy Bernard. Where did he play? Washington.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those two guys are already two of the big leaders on this team.
Wow.
And yes, Jeremy Bernard has had a really good camp. And, when I tell you this, the maturity level he has is really high. So, he's doing really well. And so is Isaiah Horton, by the way. Isaiah Horton, the Miami transfer at wide receiver, watch out. He's drawing rave reviews. Rico Scott, drawing rave reviews. Latsier Brooks has been injured. He's not in a boot anymore. He's doing conditioning. He looks like he's going to be okay, but it's unfortunate he had that little setback. But he should be ready to go soon.
Got a question here about some local players. A couple of kids that played at Carver here in Montgomery, the 5 stars, Russo and Smith. What are you hearing about those guys?
Well, Smith, like I said, I think he's a guy that he could be a dominant force based on everything we're hearing right now. The kind of summer he had, his skill, he could be a dominant force up front. Again, the way it was put to me by someone inside that building that would know, there's no excuses for him not to have a big year, given he stays healthy.
Yeah,
right.
That there's no excuses for him not to have a big year, because his mindset has been right, his motor has been running constantly, and that's one thing I think a lot of young players have to learn. You don't play one play and then come back 5 plays later. You got to play every single play, and I think the maturity level is growing there. And then Russo. Look, man, that guy, had he not been injured last year, he made some really big plays. He made some, dynamic type plays coming off the edge. That's a key. If he can become that guy that the tools that he has, becoming an outside pass rusher, stripping balls, sacking quarterbacks. Yeah, I think Quay Russo, he could be in line for a big season as well.
What are you expecting Saturday? You've gotten reports, and we both know people that are there and tell us things. Do you expect anything different, or is it kind of just business as usual with the first scrimmage?
Yeah, I would think so. I think it's pretty much the same. We always get hyped up with these scrimmages, and most of the time, it's the same stuff,
Yeah.
They're trying to find out certain things. They're working on certain things. It's tough to read too much into these scrimmages. Sometimes we overreact one way or the other to what happens. But no, I just think that it's the one thing you want, obviously, is you want to stay healthy. I think that's obviously a real key. It's just stay healthy. And I would say this, and then this is just kind of me. I do want to hear how does Ty Simpson and how do these other quarterbacks handle the scrimmage? I mean, I think that's the key, because I think quarterback is a big, until we see it happen, we just don't know. So you want to see them, take some positive steps.
Yeah, somebody put it to me, first scrimmage of the fall, you can't win or lose a starting job in the first scrimmage, but you can win or lose reps in practice, coming up. This is where you start to whittle down the guys who may not be able to help you right away and give more opportunities to the guys who are really coming.
No doubt. No doubt. And I think that's certainly, they'll have a better idea after Saturday. But let me say this too. I do think that what we're going to continue to see, is I think DeBoer's going to continue to rotate a lot of players. We saw that in the secondary last year. I think we're going to see that more and more. He's not afraid to do that because he trusts his guys. I mean, they're going to make a few mistakes, but see, what it really does is, in this era of the portal, it kind of connects the player with the program here. When you're playing, when you're not part of it, you lose interest. That's just human nature. So it kind of does that, but it also, what if you have to step in? DeBoer looks at it like, okay, we want guys that are developed, that are ready to step in and play. And then we want to build for next year as well. So when guys leave, you got guys ready to step in with some experience. So that's really the philosophy that I think he's using right now.
On our River Region Straw chat line, Chris the Bammer says, ask Rodney about special teams.
Well, listen, that's something that you don't even see the kickers at practice. I mean, they're somewhere else. I mean, they're I know people think, well, why don't you just go out there first of all, we just see drills, position drills, number one. Number two is we're limited in the areas that we can move to watch the different positions. Some of them are way away. So I say all that to say that kickers, I don't even see them out there. Now, with that said, the feedback we get is that Connor Talty, of course, he was highly touted a few years ago coming out of high school. He was supposed to replace Will Reichard. And then if you remember last year, they brought in from the transfer portal the Lou Groza winner, Graham Nicholson. Mm-hmm. And so Connor had to wait his turn. And he had a good spring, really good spring. I think they're confident that he can be good, that he's going to do the job. He's got a good leg, 50 and in. He's been pretty consistent in the spring. I think at punting, they tell me that Blake Dowd, the transfer from Colorado School of the Mines, who was a two-time All-American on that level, that he had a good spring. Consistency-wise, he was right there in terms of the average in the spring that Burnup was last year. And they thought Burnup was one of the best in the country. And then, of course, now there's another kid, a true freshman from Fresno that's highly touted, Alex Esperoff, and he's competing hard for that spot too. Now, I will say this, he's coming off a knee injury. In the spring, he had that knee brace because he hurt himself as a senior in high school, but they've got high hopes for him. And then they do have a transfer long snapper for people who wonder about those things. David Bird from Cal, who was one of the better, I think, considered one of the better guys in college football last year.
John says that's probably appropriate because if you're going to Cal and you're the long snapper, they spend all their time looking backwards and upside down anyway. So,
No doubt, man. Great info as always. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider. Obviously, a lot coming up in the next couple of days. You're going to want to be locked into Tighter Insider with all the scrimmage news, all the conversation, all the message board fodder as well. Heck, as we talked about earlier, Rodney, you can find out about other schools' football programs at Tighter Insider message board.
You sure can. I mean, they really provide a lot of info, insight into several of the SEC programs, and one, of course, being Auburn.
Yeah, there's even an opinion or two in there as well. How do people access it all, Rodney?
Right, it's tighterinsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card, or if you prefer, there is an address there to send a check. Gives you all our premium information. You mentioned the community there, the All Sports Forum. And then, yeah, I mean, it's all available right there on TiderandSutter.com.
It certainly is. Rodney, man, we always appreciate it. So much good stuff at TiderInsider.com. Of course, TITV. I know you do that every week as well. And so much content and information for folks to check out on your website.
Yep. And our On the Hoof report, you know, you can go back and look through all of those. So yeah, we appreciate the opportunity, John and Barry.
Great stuff. Thank you, Rodney.
Okay, guys, take care.
All right, buddy. Thank you. He, of course, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you exclusively by this guy at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Look at that fresh, look at that fresh Gulf shrimp that he's got there bagged up. He's got the red snapper in the display case for you. That's just a couple of the great products that he has available for you there at the Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. You can go by anytime and pick it up Tuesday through Saturday. And, of course, if you like for them to prepare it for you, they can do that as well. I'm a big fan of the grilled grouper pull boy. Yep. Call ahead, 288-4272, or you can have a fried oyster, fried shrimp, whatever you want. They can do that for you, whether you want to take it home and prepare it or you want David and his crew to do it. The Destin Connection Seafood Market.
288-4272 to call ahead. Rodney, he got on a little bit later, so this was only a 22-minute one. Theota says, I've timed him out at 24. Remember, he started a couple of minutes after.
And you know, Barry, I got to come clean. When I looked at the clock and went, wait a minute, he's only been on 18 minutes. We got 3 or 4 more questions we got to ask.
There are several other guests that he's like, 18 minutes, man, that's 3 over. We got to cut this short. When we come back, the NFL's tonight. I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
It's a little bit more of a series of options in the Phantom's Daily Dog. That's coming up next.
Coming up
with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Extra, extra. The referral perks just doubled at Dixie. Now through November 30th, get $50 for you and $50 off for your friend when you refer them to Dixie. That's a $100 value. Current Dixie customers get 10% off any repair just for being loyal. Dixie Cares Plan members get an unbeatable 20% off. Plus, you can finance anything over $250. Double the rewards, double the savings.
Okay, welcome back in. Glad you're with us. About 28 minutes past the hour here on this Thursday edition of Longshore and McKnight. Hey, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And, of course, you can check us out at yellowhammernews.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube. You see us on Instagram and X, Spotify, and Apple iTunes. So many ways to check out what we're doing, whether you like to watch or just listen. It's either or you can do both.
I got a Facebook post from our buddy Philly Gregg. And he's a listener. I mean, he will listen to us on Spotify religiously. And
Awesome.
yeah, we appreciate that. We've had also people have asked before, again, to check us out on Facebook. We get a lot, of course, on our main YouTube channel, but we get a lot as well on Facebook. If you're looking for us or you're recommending us to somebody on Facebook, just search Yellowhammer News. We're on the Yellowhammer News site on Facebook. Just search Facebook for Yellowhammer News. And while you're there sifting through some of the really great articles that they've got links to on their Facebook account, check out Longshore and McKnight. I'm looking at it, and let me say, yeah, we're right there. I mean, it is what you're seeing on YouTube, for instance, is at the very same second. That's what you're seeing on Facebook. So
How about that?
You're not missing anything at all. How about Rodney's commentary? You talk about a guy that's locked in, TighterInsider.com. He's letting us know that one of the guys in the battle for the starting punter position was a Division II All-American last year at the Colorado School of Mines.
I had to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colorado School of Mines. They're the ore diggers. The ore diggers out of Division II, Golden, Colorado, which is home to a much less popular brand of beer.
You're right.
They're not even worth mentioning, to be honest with you, because they're such.
So Barry, if you, I'm trying to think what interstate that is. Going west out of Denver, you go through the Eisenhower Tunnel when you start getting into the Rocky Mountains outside of Denver, and right when you pop out of the Eisenhower Tunnel I gotta look this because I've been on that ride, obviously.
All right,
the first exit is Golden, Colorado. When you come out of the mountain.
That sounds weird to say. But the kid, Colorado School of Mines, learning about mines.
That's right.
Wants to step it up a little bit. It is, let's see, I-70.
I-70.
And then you take the exit off U.S. Highway 6. There you go. So
it is a beautiful drive, and it can be a little windy and turns and ups and downs, obviously going through the mountains. But one time I was leaving Denver, going through the Eisenhower Tunnel, and when we popped out on the other side, it was snowing. It'd been sunny when I went in. It was snowing when I came out. So it was kind of interesting with the weather there. Tobias. How about Tobias on the chat line today? I love how he puts this today.
We, Tobias, we may have to just start because we're using our old radio names. Theotis, Tobias, Chris the Bammer. For those of you who are just vibing on our video show and, couldn't care less about our old radio show, this is T. Smitty 3000.
Yeah, it is.
Great guy. I don't know about the verbiage here, T. Smitty, but he says, hey, John, is your snitch going to be at the scrimmage on Saturday? John, do you care to address that in a more upfront, above-board manner?
I love
because we know what happens to stitches. Ice Cube told us. Ice Cube told us what happens to snitches. I wouldn't call him a snitch.
That's an interesting way to put it, Tobias. No, it'll be at the next scrimmage. I wouldn't call him him a snitch, but I think I know what you're referring to. But it will be at the next scrimmage.
And Plainsman Preston, I think this is chat number 46 already. He says, no, y'all are using our old radio names. That's what I'm saying, Plainsman Preston. I said we probably need to start using their chat names. That's precisely my point.
Old habits are hard to break. I think Hank Jr. had a song about that.
So did Chicago. A hard habit to break.
A hard habit to break.
Yeah.
It's a good one there, but we'll have some info for you. Don't you worry.
Also, again, one more thing. Snitch. One more thing. Chris the Bammer says, hey, the NFL games tonight.
Hey, I'm glad you ask about that.
We've got Colts and Ravens from Baltimore, 6 o'clock NFL Network. 6:30, don't know if it's televised or not. Bengals at the Eagles. And then at 9 o'clock, NFL Network, Raiders at the Seahawks.
That's right.
That doesn't mean that's what the Phantom's going to look at.
No.
Phantom's Daily Dog.
You're right. Well, Barry, our Daily Dog, yesterday was early. And maybe I'm hoping a lot of you viewers and listeners might have missed it because of the start time. So you probably know where we're going here.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh was hosting the San Francisco Giants. Pittsburgh was a home underdog. They were plus 130. Barry, we jump out to a 1-0 lead, and we hold on to it for 4 innings. So we're feeling pretty good till we get to the 5th. San Francisco ties it up, and hey, we scratch across another run at the bottom of the 5th. We're still leading. Then we get to the top of the 8th, and things get a little dicey as the
run
Giants,
in.
they tie it up, and then they take the lead in the top of the 9th. And the Pittsburgh Pirates cannot answer. Even though we did have 8 hits yesterday, we out-hit San Francisco for what that's worth.
I was about to say, does that mean anything? Does that mean anything when you tear your ticket up into little tiny pieces and everything?
No,
Say, well, at least we had more first downs than they did.
Yeah. You go to the window and you tell that guy, hey, man, we had more hits. Don't matter. Did you bet how many hits today, or what'd you bet? Okay.
Yeah.
So we took it on the chin yesterday with the early game in Pittsburgh. So we're looking at today.
Yep.
And in baseball, Barry, it's still, I guess, I thought it was always just Thursday, but I'm noticing that Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday have kind of turned into getaway games.
Yeah.
A very light card in Major League Baseball today. One early game, the A's at the nation's capital, 11:05 first pitch. And there's only 3 other games after that. So once again, I asked the question, is Major League Baseball afraid of NFL preseason games? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
We don't want to get swamped by the third string quarterback making his first appearance from the Colorado School of Mines for the Ravens or whatever.
I mean, you got to ask these type questions. I mean, baseball limited a light card today.
Light card.
There are 3 NFL preseason games today.
So there are 4 Major League games, 3 NFL games. Where is the value? What is presenting itself to the Phantom in his dog of the day?
Well, Barry, we're looking at it this way. We mentioned it earlier in the program. The 3 NFL preseason games tonight, every home team is an underdog. I mean, what's up with that? I mean, if these games are being played in week 4, I don't think Baltimore would be a home dog. I don't think Philadelphia would be a home dog. And I don't think Seattle would be a home dog, particularly against the teams that they're playing. But that's the case tonight. It's usually based on some reports and some news about how long the starters will be playing.
Right.
That has
and
a
they
lot
know
to do with
those guys. It is still amazing to me how much the handicappers know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've talked about it for a long time. How does a guy in Vegas know that the girlfriend of the starting quarterback at Appalachian State broke up with him? How do they know that? It's amazing.
But they know.
I'm telling you, Barry, there's about 5 to 10 things I've got to know about when I'm at the pearly gates. A lot of that's one of them. How does Vegas know before everybody?
Right.
I just have always wondered that.
And they say, we don't know. We want to ask one of them, but they never make it here.
All right, 3 games tonight. Barry, we're going late tonight, 9 p.m., 9 o'clock Central Time on the NFL Network, where the Las Vegas Raiders are laying 4.5 at the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I'm calling this game, Barry? This is the Jalen Milroe game. We're going to find out, is Jalen Milroe really an NFL caliber quarterback? I think we're going to find out tonight, because that's why I'm thinking the Raiders, who aren't any good, aren't going to be good this year.
No, weren't any good last year.
Going to finish last in their division. They're a favorite on the road at Seattle. I'm going to take the 4 and the home team, and I'm looking for Jalen Milroe to have a pretty good night. We'll see how it plays out. There you have it.
Did you see his last game?
Barry, I've asked this question.
You've asked the question. What's different from last year?
What's changed in 9 months?
Yeah.
What has changed in 9 months? So we're going to go with, he's still on the team as far as I know. He has not been cut. So We're going to go with Milroe. I think he wears number 6, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's.
I think he wears. He may wear number 3 because I saw something on social media where Russell Wilson said something. Hey,
I saw that too.
Run that number, So he may be wearing number 3. Who knows?
So if Jalen Milroe is getting accolades from Russell Wilson, who was a great player. I mean, who's to argue? I mean, heck, he's pretty high on him. That's some pretty good compliments there. So we're going to take the Seahawks at home as an underdog.
All right. The Phantom has spoken, confirming here it will be Milroe wearing number 6.
I'm looking at that. He wears number 6.
All
I wonder why, because Drew Lock wears number 2.
Drew Lock, that's where he is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a break.
And Sam Darnold is their star. They got 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
There we go.
Tonight's going to be the Drew Lock, Jalen Milroe show.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But the Phantom goes with Seattle regardless of the quarterback. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. Riverbank and Trust.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, about 19 minutes to the top of the hour. A couple of things I wanted to get to before we get to Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. Barry, tomorrow, we will kick off our tour of the SEC. We're going to start off with Ole Miss. Our friend Brett Norsworthy, who has covered Ole Miss for many, many years, saw him at Media Days, will join us tomorrow around 7:15. Also got a couple of other inquiries out there about some guys that we know out there that cover these other teams in the SEC, waiting to hear back from them. So we'll let you know who our other school is, maybe by the end of this program, but certainly by the time we get on live tomorrow, we'll let you know who we're looking at as team or program number 2 of our tour, which should be in the second part of the program tomorrow.
Tomorrow we are live at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Correct. That's exactly right. Yep.
There we go.
In
Where
Price sells cars.
Like it. Okay.
So we'll do that. Kick off our tour of the SEC tomorrow, and should be fun. Also, you sent me something yesterday that I found extremely interesting. CBSSports.com.
Yep.
College football betting odds, trends, best, worst teams against the spread across the past 3 seasons.
I was interested in that. Who are the ones who are the best? And John was more interested in who are the ones who are the worst.
Yeah.
Which, I
will say this. Notre Dame surprised me, because the world bets on Notre Dame or bets against them. I mean, Notre Dame there's a big handle with Notre Dame every week. But over the last 3 seasons, they've done well. As a matter of fact, last year they did really well.
Anybody out there, quick guess. Think to yourself, Since 2022, who has been the best team in college football against the spread? Pat yourself on the back if you said the Duke Blue Devils.
Well,
the Duke Blue Devils against the spread, 23-12-1. Last year they were 8-3-1 against the spread.
Yeah.
One push.
There were 3 teams on the list, Barry, that I knew were good against the spread. Duke was one of them. Tulane's the other.
John has been a Tulane fan ever since Tommy Bowden was the coach there and Sean King was the quarterback 30 years ago.
And Missouri. I knew those 3 had been hot against the spread. I did not know Troy had done well against the spread over the last 3 years at 61.1%.
Tulane was 5th best in the nation against the spread. Mizzou was 7th best. I did wonder about this. Number 6 against the spread in college football, UNLV.
Yeah.
I would think UNLV ought to be number 1 because they got a lot of people hanging around that are poking around and asking questions and kicking tires, right?
You would think so. I can tell you, though, about Tulane, Barry. I can tell you one of the times they didn't cover the spread. And that was a game in Oxford, Mississippi, which they clearly had the game won outright.
Yeah.
And the last 3 minutes of the game, they completely collapsed and didn't win nor cover. But that was one of the rarities because they've been money. Have the green wave over the last 3 years. How about some of these teams that are the worst against the spread?
Tied for the worst, the Stanford Cardinal, who only against the spread, they are 11-24-1. Same thing as Kent State.
Yeah.
Also, in the bottom 7, the bottom 8, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Kirby.
Right. Yeah, they're not covering.
13-24 against the spread since 2022. Last year, Georgia against the number 3-9.
3-9. Terrible. Not as bad as UAB, but pretty bad. How about Vanderbilt? I mean, the last year they were 8-4 against the spread. They upset some people. But prior to that, combined last 3 years, just 15-21. So Vanderbilt wasn't able to cash in, even though they had a good year last year. Barry, Stanford will kill you because it's that late night game at the farm. You're trying to catch up, had a bad day, and you're going to take Stanford. It is a loser. Don't do it.
I don't care how bad things are, and you think I got to get something, or how good things are, and you say I've got to pour it on. John is telling you now, believe him later, don't mess with Stanford.
Stanford will kill you. It will definitely
will kill you.
And you're wondering where Alabama's been over the last 3 seasons, 22-15 against the spread, 59.5%.
Yeah.
Last year they were 7-5 against the spread at 58.3%. Not great, but when you factor in the juice, you're about breaking even.
That's same
with the Tide. So I found that very interesting.
Got 5 topics.
Let's do it.
On the legendary Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, Victoryland 777 Victoryland Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too.
That's right.
Here we go.
We got the wheel going. It's spinning. And
we don't know what the topics are. We don't know what we're about to deal with, but we're ready to deal with it here. Let's spin it. First one up is Go Ahead.
Go ahead.
Or Go Ahead.
Go ahead. All right. What we got here?
Shohei, 1,000th career hit. Strikes. He pitched and he hit. He's the DH starting pitcher. If he pitched full-time, he'd be the best pitcher in major leagues. 8th mound start, didn't pitch at all last year. 2-run homer. The Dodgers win. It was his 1,000th career hit, which seems like a lot. I mean, he hadn't been playing that long, but he's incredible. He is an incredible player. 1,000 career hits, another home run for Ohtani. They beat St. Louis, or they ended up losing the game but his home run was the go-ahead home run.
And I'm going to use this example.
Yeah.
And I think it's remarkable. To me, the Dodgers have an unfair advantage. And they're smart. I mean, they're scouts. They found this guy. It's great.
Yeah.
But they've got an unfair advantage because most pitchers in Major League Baseball can't hit a lick.
Right.
I mean, to me, it's a waste of time to even get them out there. I don't know why they just don't have the designated hitter in the National League. Every now and then they'll make contact. I know there was a Braves pitcher years ago that hit a home run in a game that lasted till 2 a.m. or something like that. Can't really remember all the details. But it's kind of like when the Dallas Cowboys had Danny White. Remember him?
Yes.
He punted and he played quarterback. So they had a roster spot that was freed up. And it's like with the Dodgers. They got a guy that can hit and pitch. Seems a little unfair, but hey, my hat's off to him.
All right, for those of you baseball fans out there that are wondering, I want to let you know, I'm not going to say anything about it. Let me just tell you, I know. I don't want to show John up. I don't want to do that because, I mean, his opinions are his own. But if you think, why isn't Barry coming out and just pointing that out to him? I don't want to do that. I don't want to show him up. The fact that the National League has the designated hitter, they've had it for several years. Yeah. I just didn't, we'll gloss that along, okay? But it's still a pretty good point.
I misspoke. Yeah, okay. You're right.
All right.
It's the American League that's got the designated hitter.
Both of them have. The designated hitter.
When did that rule come into play?
This is what I love about John. We'll move along here. We'll move along.
So, Barry, you're telling me that a rule that I had been lobbying for since the beginning of our careers together, they finally this is unbelievable. I mean, they are installing more rules that I told them they should do. This is great. I that one slipped past me. That just shows you how much baseball that I don't watch.
For the Atlanta Braves, Marcell Ozuna in a National League game started as designated hitter against the Brewers, who their designated hitter was Christian Yelich. So anyway, let's move on.
I don't want to show my ignorance here when it comes to baseball. I really don't. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you don't want to use a designated hitter, I guess you don't have to. The Dodgers are proof of that.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Let's take a break.
Man.
Let's take a break before we go back, rinse our brains out a little bit. It's Longshore and McKnight, your baseball headquarters, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, back at it. A couple of minutes at the top of the hour, more topics to get to. Just quickly, what year did that rule come into effect?
It was 2022.
Oh, okay. So it was like 3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
John is collecting wins and he didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years, people. 3.5 years.
Man.
But hey,
And I love the AFL and NFL have merged. Okay.
yeah, that's exactly right. It's a great, big, beautiful world out there.
Okay. Let's
right,
move on. Okay. What do we got?
There you go. All right.
Kern Jr. Victoryland Triple Topic Wheel. 4 more to go. Spins away.
I hope we get to Bloody Cheek sometime soon. This is so close. So close. Oh, no, Gavin Williams. I didn't see this. Soto, no hitter for the Guardians, Gavin Williams, who I really like. Guardians have been playing great baseball. There was a no-hitter in the 9th. Cleveland was winning it. Oh, and he throws one bad pitch, and Soto's smiling. He says, I got it.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
Ooh. Guardians still end up winning the game.
Yeah.
Juan Soto was not the designated hitter in that one. They ended up winning the game. That's the only hit. Only hit the Mets got. They're so close to the no-hitter. Gavin Williams, I like him very much. He's had a good year, 7-4 with the victory. Cleveland has not had a no-hitter since 1981.
You could just see it on that pitch. I mean, his head went up in the air. He's looking. He's oh, yes, out.
Snap. Yeah.
Man, that's a tough way to lose it.
Yeah. But he still won the game. So here we go. All right.
It's a team game. It's not about individual
that's right.
awards.
Yeah. At least he didn't bunt or something to try to get that hit. Here we go.
All right, let's spin it again, see what we got. Green, yellow, and blue are still up on the panel, and it's going to land in the yellow area.
Only Happy Ever? Sounds like a movie title.
No kidding. Only Happy Ever. Huh.
Somebody's done this? The Happy Gilmore 2-step and cut at it?
Oh,
all right.
Look.
All right. Who even is this? All right.
Either you've had your previous hole, you double bogeyed and you're mad, or you're just saying,
hang on.
Heck, I'm going to be all over social media if I do this.
John Peterson.
Ah, yes.
No relation to George Peterson.
That's
John Peterson. Have never heard of him. He was out of the running. This was a while back, but he reshared it again. Again, the Happy Gilmore. You tee it up. You step back. He's thinking, what the heck? I ain't winning this thing anyway. Boom, boom, Around and try to Yep. Awesome. Yep. Awesome.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right.
Who else we got?
All right. 2 more.
Two more to go. Victoryland Triple Topic Wheel. 2 more panels, blue and green. What do we got here? Spin away.
Yeah.
And it's going to land on.
Oh, this is Mike Vrabel. This is Mike Vrabel. You know what preseason practices are like. There's a ton of fights, and you got to break. Well, the Patriots and the Commanders were having a joint practice, learning how to roll one, learning how to. I'm kidding. Not a joint practice. But they're practicing against each other. It's not a scrimmage, but they're working live against each other.
Sure.
And there's another fight. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, he jumps in the middle of it trying to separate people, and he took one right on the cheek. Blood everywhere.
Barry, his players are going to respect that, though. Coach stepped in here, got a little bloodied up.
They used to have the old Madden team or the old Ditka team or something. Yeah. A coach will come out of a practice with blood.
Yeah.
The players are going to say, he's one of us. He's one of our guys.
Yeah. As we get to our last category, our last topic, let me just check real quick. When do the Patriots play their first preseason? Oh, they play in Washington tomorrow. Huh.
Yeah. Not only are there 3 games tonight in preseason in the NFL, there are 3 games tomorrow. Lions at the Falcons, Browns at the Panthers tomorrow night. Patriots host the Commanders, who may change their name by the game time tomorrow. Saturday, a bunch.
So you got a lot to choose.
Saturday games and 2 Sunday games.
Baseball. All right, last topic. Let's spin it, Gurn. Gurn Jr.'s VictoryLand 777 Topic Wheel, where you can be a winner too. VictoryLand, open 24/7. Exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama.
This might be my grandmother, Mary Martha, rest her soul. Largest purse. $90 million tennis purse.
What?
Will the women get as much? The men and women's singles champions will each earn $5 million.
Well, unlike the WNBA, people are interested in female tennis.
Yeah.
So they're worth it.
Winning teams in the men's, women's, and mixed doubles will receive $1 million
a piece
in prize money.
Or are they splitting it?
They splitting it, yeah.
Oh,
how about that? Love it.
That's pretty good stuff.
That is
good
Barry,
stuff. You mentioned tomorrow we're at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. We will also kick off our tour of the SEC. We're starting with Ole Miss, the Rebels. Our man Brent Norsworthy is going to join us around 7:15 for that. And then our man Dick Gabriel is going to join us to talk about the Kentucky
Big Blue
Wildcats.
Insider. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Dick's
Little UK going to join us tomorrow.
Around 8:30 tomorrow.
Yep,
So looking forward to kicking off with those two guys.
Many thanks. Much appreciation for the work today from Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider at TiderInsider.com, presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, and Jason Caldwell from AuburnUndercover.com. For our esteemed producer, Gurn Jr., for John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. Longshore and McKnight is in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.